All right. Welcome to the SumYungGuys podcast. This is Limac and
This is Carlos.
we're some young guys just trying to solve the world's problems on a podcast.
Thanks for joining us today. I think one of our biggest topics is what's kind of roaming around right now on the news, which is the Russia-Ukraine war. You know, it's going on right now. You know, apparently Russia attacked Ukraine with some missiles, killing multiple people. And rumors are spreading that we might go into World War III. So,
Yeah.
what do you think, Limac?
I think it's very possible. I think that our media is not doing a very good job of stressing just how bad it could be. Like, Biden came on and talked about how we're nearing Armageddon. Like, we're the closest to Armageddon that we've ever been since Cuba. He himself said that.
That's scary. You know?
Yeah.
I'm kind of pissed because we just started this podcast.
Yeah, right. Now we're about to get World War III.
Yeah,
we get drafted.
Yeah. Like, it's so annoying how we have to fight other people's battles, you know?
And it really is other people's battles. It's not our battle. We've made it our battle. Really, Biden, Pelosi, all the politicians. This is another politicians' war.
Exactly.
Like, we pulled out. We went straight from Afghanistan, which we were in there under false pretenses anyways, because I don't know if you know this, but George Bush actually lied about there being missiles and nuclear weapons in, I think it was Iran.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what got us into Iran. And then there's just been a history of political BS that has all been done to essentially make money for military-industrial complex companies like DARPA, Lockheed Martin, basically just companies that make weapons and tanks and all of that. A lot of technology is driven by war.
Right.
Advancements in technology. The internet was invented by DARPA.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, the internet was invented by DARPA, and it was of course, expanded upon by private companies and things like that. But yeah, DARPA does a lot. They do a lot of the secret stuff in terms of technological development.
Okay.
But I mean, it's all like, because I'm a tech nerd, so it's really cool what they do and what they work on and stuff like that. It would be a dream job to work at DARPA. At the same time, the military-industrial complex is literally an industry that focuses on how to kill people.
Interesting. I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. And then is it true also that war brings in money? I've heard that a lot.
Yes, that is precisely why we went straight from Afghanistan to, because it's all about making money for companies, resources in different countries,
That
just
makes sense.
all kinds of stuff like that. So like Russia and Ukraine specifically, I think, has lithium, and we're trying to enter all these green initiatives with batteries and things like that. And lithium is a key component in batteries. There is a lot of lithium, I believe, in Afghanistan also.
Okay.
But, we've been trying to pull out of Afghanistan for the last, 5 to 10 years, something like that. And Trump kind of promised us that we would get out of Afghanistan. He kind of spearheaded the beginning of that.
Yeah, and then Biden came in.
And then Biden came in and fucked it up.
Fucked it all up.
Yeah, made it. I mean, we're out, great, but he also is directly involved in getting us back into Ukraine and Russia. And
it's annoying.
I honestly don't think that Putin would have invaded Ukraine if it weren't for Trump no longer being in office.
What do you mean? Like if he would have stayed in office?
So I think Trump was a wild card. We all know this.
Right.
He was unpredictable. And I think for that reason, most of the world powers were afraid to do anything that would kind of invoke the wrath of America.
Okay.
Yeah,
makes sense.
And so I think that's one reason why I think that if Biden hadn't gotten into office, because also Biden does not strike fear in the hearts of men. Let's be honest.
No,
Biden does not strike fear in anyone's heart. He is You know, I wouldn't be surprised if he has dementia or Alzheimer's. I mean, there was this
The man is retarded.
He's not retarded. He's just old. That's very mean to old people.
Okay, I'm not.
He
trying
shouldn't
to
be president. That's for damn sure,
bro. Okay, so this okay, it scares me. One, it scares me. Two, I feel like every other country looks at us weak because of our leader.
They do.
So it's like, I mean, like him going up the plane and tripping. Like, come on, him not being able to complete a full sentence.
Yeah, that's the worst one for me.
And then like that, either completing a full sentence that makes sense, or even trying to finish a sentence.
Dude, have you seen him walking off of the podium and like he's lost on stage?
Yeah,
he very clearly looks lost on stage many times.
What do you? Okay, so conspiracy shit. I know, like, you know, the governments are very like dark, and who knows what's controlling really behind all of that scene shit. Do you think this guy's like a puppet, like an actual robotic puppet or something?
Not a robotic puppet, but I think that they hop him up on drugs so that he can be cognizant for a few minutes while he's on stage or in an interview or giving a speech to the press or whatever the case may be. I think they hop him up on uppers.
Okay.
So they're giving him things that'll, you know, make him appear awake and cognizant and things like that. I think a lot of I think there's a lot of doctored footage of him in interviews. Like there was a 60 Minutes interview that he was asked questions like, I think one of the questions was, how's your focus? And he said, oh, it's focused. And there was a lot of stuff in that interview on the public release, which is jump cut around. Like they jump from one view to another view and things like that. And I think they probably stitched together a lot of audio and video to make it look like he was more cognizant than he actually is. And then just recently he was speaking and he said 2 words, made in America, which is 3 words. And then he repeated it. He said made in America again, like just had no idea that he just said 3 words instead of 2. Now that's a small thing. It's whatever, but it's just another one of the pieces of evidence against him and his mental state, his mental health or lack thereof.
Do you think he's faking it?
No. I mean, it's possible, but I doubt it.
This is what I keep thinking. I feel like he's acting stupid. So whenever anyone tries to try to step on us or something, he'll be like, oh, okay, now I know who are my fake people. Like, you know, who was really with me, who was really not, or who was really trying to attack me.
I doubt it.
But
I really doubt it.
I could be wrong.
You could be wrong. I could be wrong. We could all be wrong.
Shit.
Oh, no.
My bad. That was my alarm.
I heard. I could tell.
That's why I turned that off.
Yeah, no, I don't think he's faking it. It's possible. It'd be crazy if he's like just blundering all of his speeches everywhere all the time. And then, you know, behind closed doors, he's, you know, moving and shaking, making deals and, you know, striking fear in the hearts of men. But I just don't see that being the case.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But I mean, that's one of my thoughts. You know, I'm like, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, he's also been in politics for his whole life, as far as I know, like 50 plus years. And there was actually a video that surfaced recently that I saw where he was saying the N-word multiple times with a hard R, talking about we don't need any more N-words in blank position. I can't remember exactly where he was talking about, but it was like, it had to be like the 80s that this was happening. But like, yeah. And not to mention, when he was running, he said, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black, or something along those lines. Do you remember that?
I remember that.
That shit was crazy. And people still, like, everyone on the left had no problem with the fact that he said that.
I liked how that thing kind of
that just like blew over.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Trump never said anything that racist.
No, yeah. Like, you know, build a wall and all that stuff. You know, it's something, you know, low key. I do think it was needed.
I do too. Well, so here's the thing is like,
for a lot of reasons, not just to keep, you know, immigrants out and all that stuff, but like, you know, other things as well.
It's not even about keeping immigrants out. It's about keeping illegal immigrants out. Because most of the people that are coming over illegally, not most, I would say that a lot of times when people come illegally, it's because they couldn't otherwise get in legally, whether it's because they have a criminal record Granted, maybe not. They just can't afford to. Maybe their situation is so dire that they need to get into America immediately. But what the lax border policies that Joe Biden has, well, he hasn't really done anything, and that's kind of the problem.
The only thing he did is keep those children in cages.
Actually,
so he can feed off
what's
of them.
another thing that's okay? Conspiracy minded. Another thing that's crazy is like everyone was bashing on Trump for putting kids in cages, ICE, and all of that was happening, which, was happening. But at the same time, it was Obama and Biden that built those cages.
Yep.
They built those cages. No one wants to talk about, so my stepdad is black and my dad is black, and neither of them voted for Obama.
Oh, I believe you.
Neither of them. Because they knew, like, this guy's just more of the same.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not going to vote for someone just because they're black.
Exactly.
Even though, like, that's another thing that I hate is just all of this, like, wokeism and anti-racism or whatever it is that they want to call it, where they're just putting people in places because they're black and we don't have enough black people in this place. It's like, if I take a bum off the street and put him and give him a gun and make him a cop just because we don't have enough cops that are black, it's like he might go crazy and shoot someone, especially out here in Reno, because half the bums on the street here on crack 24/7. So like, and obviously that's an extreme example, but you get the idea of you want people that are capable and have the, they're competitive, like they're the ones that have the merit. They have good reason to be there. Now, that being said, if you have, not enough, there's just not that many black people on the force, and you have two applicants that have equal credentials and one of them's black, one of them's white, by all means, take the black guy. I have no problem there.
Well, yeah, I mean, if they
but
qualify.
Take the best qualified candidate for the job, regardless of race, and then all else being equal, if everything else is equal, sure, take the candidate that is less represented.
Right. Yeah.
Take the female candidate if you need more women on the job and she's got just as good credentials as the guy. Like, it needs to be merit-based. It can't be all of this, we have to be progressive and equal out the men and women in these positions. It's like, what if women don't want that position? You're just going to stop hiring men because, like, just fire all the rest of, like, you know what I mean? Like, you have 12 women and 24 men, but no women applicants. What are you going to do? Fire half of the men?
Yeah.
Just because you want to make it 50-50?
Yeah. No.
Like, it's just kind of ridiculous. Not even kind of. It is ridiculous.
Yeah, because
what's going on.
Most girls don't want that position.
A lot of
well, I'm not saying most girls. I'm saying, like, a lot of women wouldn't want that position. I know some do, but some.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not saying that they
that's
can't
another
have
thing
it,
that's obvious in, like, more egalitarian countries where they really do try their best to equalize everything in terms of opportunity. So, like, the Swedish countries, all of the Scandinavian countries, all of the differences in sex actually got bigger because people were just choosing what they wanted to do. You know what I mean? And so you end up with more female nurses or more female teachers or whatever the case may be, and then more men doing things that are traditionally masculine, but that's just because they wanted to do those things.
Right.
And really the differences between men and women is like 60-40 differences. Like 60% of men are going to be stronger than 40% of women. Or no. I'm messing that up exactly, but you know what I mean? It's like...
Yeah. Like, it's obvious.
If you take 100 people, or 100 men and 100 women, 60 of the men are going to be stronger. It's like Venn diagrams and how they overlap and things like that.
I know what you're trying to get at.
Yeah, I'm wording it so poorly. I had a long day today, and weekend really, but yeah. So it's on average, men are stronger, women are physically not as strong. But on the outliers also, that's where you really get it. So, like, if you imagine a bell curve, you know what a bell curve looks like, of course, right?
I think so, yeah.
It's like the curve that's shaped like a bell.
Okay, yeah.
And where you get, like, most of the people are in the middle, and then there's outliers on either end. You know what I mean? So if you overlap the bell curves of men and women in the same field, say it's weightlifting, powerlifting, you're going to have an overlap where there's a lot of men that are just as strong as a lot of women. However, at the ends of those outliers all of the very, very, very strongest people are men.
Okay. That makes sense.
And it's that same way in a lot of different areas.
Okay.
And that's how the differences between men and women typically stack. It's like, it's not that women can't, it's that women either tend to not choose to or generally less capable in this one specific area. Whereas there are plenty of similar things where men are not capable and women are.
Yeah. I believe that. I mean, my lady, she's like, she's kind of tired of her job, and she's like, I kind of want to, like, I always wanted to be a cop. I always wanted to like do something.
Really?
Like, I was like, Jesus Christ, woman,
Interesting.
trying to beat up some people. And then she's okay. I don't mean it like that. But she's like, yeah, like I've always wanted to like do like DEA or some undercover shit. I was like, okay.
I mean, that sounds fun, honestly.
That does sound fun. Yeah. And then it was kind of cool because like I was also talking about like, if you become a paramedic, you can also apply for a SWAT team and be a paramedic SWAT. Like,
yeah, Adam was talking about wanting to do that for a while.
Dope.
That would be pretty sick.
I would have loved that shit. I think that'd be fucking badass.
It would be. I also really like your guys' decorations.
Thank you.
Did.
Thank you. Yeah.
Carlos and his girl did this.
If y'all can see it,
I think you can. You should be able to.
we did it for the podcast.
Yeah,
we're
looks
like,
good.
we should put it there. Halloween special,
Yeah, of course.
October special.
Well, October. Yeah, for all of October. We'll have another couple of episodes. Halloween falls on a Monday this year, which kind of sucks. Because I got invited by some friends to do something, but they're in Sacramento and I'm in Reno, and then I get off work at 3:30, and then I'd have to be back up here at 6. It's just not happening. It's not happening. That would be
you're not coming back the next day.
Yeah, exactly. Like I would have to call out, and I just don't feel like doing that. To party, I'd rather make some money.
Yeah, I mean, luckily I'm off.
Personally.
I think.
Really?
I think. I hope so.
Like I'm still down to do something, but not drive to Sacramento to do it.
I mean, what are you doing on the 22nd?
What's the 22nd?
The zombie crawl.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
You off?
Yeah. No,
that's a Saturday.
It's a Saturday. Of course, I'm off. I'm off. I work Monday through Friday.
Oh, perfect. Oh, let's do something.
Yeah. We should totally do that.
Hell yeah. Okay, cool.
Anyone watching? There's a zombie crawl. It's a bar crawl in Reno on October 22nd.
Yeah. Pretty sure.
So I think we're gonna do that.
Yeah, I think we might do that. That'd be fun because my lady got invited by her friends, so I'm just gonna tag along. I'm still trying to discover what I want to be. I don't know.
Are we gonna go with the people from work?
Some of them
last time.
Yes,
okay,
some of them are gonna go for sure, and then I think more people are coming. So it's gonna be like a big ass group.
Nice
For sure.
Nice.
So we'll have a big ass group. Also,
sure, there's gonna be tons of people.
Oh yeah,
It's gonna be a good time.
it's gonna be a great time.
It'll be a great time.
I'm still trying to figure out what I want to wear for Halloween. So I don't know if like my lady over here, they're like her friends are like, we should all dress up as Power Rangers, and I was like,
really?
Then, yeah, you're gonna be the Black Ranger. I was like, nah, dude, I can't live up to that standard. Like I don't have what it takes. I'm not like.
I was, I haven't bought a costume yet, and I don't really feel like buying one, so I might just do what I did last year and go as the Winter Soldier, because I have a shirt that I wear at the gym sometimes. It's the Winter Soldier.
Hey,
it's
bro.
a compression shirt with that design.
Like, save some pussy for the rest of us, my guy.
Shit, bro. I don't know if I can do that.
Shit, my girl's gonna be out there.
What does that mean for me?
I'm joking. No.
Is she gonna be wingmanning me?
No. I was thinking about like, cause I told her like, cause she's not really feeling the Power Ranger suit.
Okay.
And neither am I. I'm like, I'm not trying to. It's gonna be cold.
I was honestly kind of considering.
Much, if I'm gonna wear the Black Ranger suit, bro, you better be packing.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Sorry,
No,
but
I'm a grower too. It's okay.
I'm a little shy.
No, I was thinking I might go as like Peaky Blinders. Have you seen that show?
Yo,
wear the suit.
I'm a big fan of Tommy.
That's a great show. They go dapper as fuck.
Tommy's cool, but Arthur's motherfucker.
Arthur's a bad motherfucker. Yes, but Tommy Shelby's the GOAT.
Yeah, Tommy's a GOAT, but Arthur's a weapon for sure.
Well, yeah, I mean that's kind of all he is the entire show.
That's fine with me. That his character was my favorite character. Arthur's,
really?
Hell yeah.
I don't know who my favorite character from that show is. For those that don't know, Peaky Blinders is a great show. It's on Netflix.
Great show.
Definitely would watch it.
Definitely.
There's a lot of politics of the times and just like geopolitics. Because the show starts set in like what, 1918? something like that. Right after there was a war.
Walking into the industrial.
Yeah, walking into the industrial age, but I think it started in 1918 because it was right after.
It was that war,
I think, there was a French, not the French Revolution, because that's far in the past, but there was a war around 1918, not World War I, right before World War I, that the main character was in. And like it starts with him being back from the war and running a business with his family. Which sounds boring, but he's actually a gangster, so their business is being gangsters.
It was with the Irish.
I think, the Irish-French war.
You had beef with them.
Yeah, because there was the IRA, the Irish, what is it, the Irish Republican Army or something like that? I believe
so. I don't know. I don't know. It's been a minute since I've seen that show.
Yeah, it's been a while, and I need to brush up on my history, get all that right. Speaking of history and war and all of that, I would like to get back to World War III because we got a lot of crazy shit going on, man.
Yeah, we do.
Russia's mobilizing all kinds of stuff. They're talking about they've got this submarine that has what they call a Tsunami Bomb, where it's a nuke that could blow up off the coast of whatever their target is, and it's powered by a nuclear generator, so it has unlimited range, is what they call it. So like they could fire it from anywhere in the world and hit anywhere else in the world.
No way.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But the Tsunami Bomb, I think, is what they call it. I think it's the Poseidon missile, if you want to Google that. But it's basically a missile, or a Poseidon torpedo, actually. It's a torpedo that's fired from a submarine that can go anywhere in the world, and it would create a tsunami in that area. It's kind of crazy. And the Russians are working on building that. And they're saying that like it'll only be ready in 2027, but who knows what the truth is, because, we were working on the Manhattan Project at World War II. No one knew that we were working on those nukes. Like, we didn't have the internet, so there's no way to really know what was going on back then. However, it looks like there's this concept of the tsunami bomb. Look up the Poseidon. Is that it?
I think
Did you find it?
Yeah, it's just Russia appears to have developed a nuclear weapon capable of sneaking along the bottom of the sea, detonating along the coastline to flood the area with one official described as the radioactive tsunamis.
That would suck.
The Poseidon 2M39 torpedo. Let's look that one up. Let's see.
But so Russia's mobilizing a lot of stuff. There was a bridge that was blown up. It was in Crimea, that is a supply route for Russians to get supplies to Crimea. And that bridge was partially blown up. And so it's just like all kinds of stuff going on either side. I'm just not in favor of the war at all. I'm not in favor of how much aid we're giving Ukraine, because it's not our business, first off. I understand. I'm not siding with Putin, but I understand why he invaded, because NATO was trying to essentially buy Ukraine and have Ukraine as part of NATO, which strategically for Russia is not good, because
here it is.
If we wanted to, we could just have troops in Ukraine and then invade Russia from Ukraine. So it makes sense why Russia strategically, militarily, wanted to make sure that Ukraine was his and not someone else's. Because, like, for example, let's say China or Russia was building an army in Mexico. Would we not be threatened by that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
absolutely,
that would be absolutely terrifying for us.
The Germans try to do it.
They did. They did try and get Mexico to side with them, which I don't remember exactly. No. Yeah, I don't remember if they said no or if it just didn't end up working out. I think like Hitler may have offended someone in Mexico, and then they were like, "Screw you."
Exactly, and then
something like that.
That's why there's a lot of German-looking motherfuckers in Mexico sometimes.
Yeah, in Argentina specifically.
Yeah, Argentina.
They escaped to Argentina. There's a lot of Germans in Argentina.
Yeah. You're not wrong.
But, so there's a lot going on over there that is pretty crazy. The president of Ukraine threatened, he was making some crazy remarks about nuking Russia preemptively. and then backed out, and he said like something. He backed up his statement and said, "No, I meant we should cut off their supplies or something like that, like to preemptively strike." And it's just we're just playing with nuclear war at this point. And
That's scary.
It's terrifying. I don't think that it would be like a bunch of Nagasaki's and Hiroshimas, but I think what would happen, because they have tactical nukes that are smaller than Hiroshima and Nagasaki, that would be like not millions dead, but maybe hundreds of thousands, or 100,000 or something like that.
Defensible.
Yeah, so like they have smaller ones and ones that don't have a bunch of radiation fallout. And so it wouldn't be as bad as, you know, everyone launches all their nukes, most likely, because, I mean, I really just hope and pray that no one in government or with that kind of power is that suicidal, because that's what that would be.
So what would you do if you were in this? Let's say it happens, fucking alarms go off, and we're like, hey, you know, we're getting nuked. What would you, like, would you try to survive, or would you know that we are...
That's hard to say.
Fucked. Like,
I would try. So if the alarms go off and the blast zone is here, like they're aiming for us. First off, there's going to be a lot of panic, and everyone's going to be trying to leave. So your chances of actually being able to get out, I'm not entirely sure how high they are, because did they launch the nuke already and it's on its way? Because those things travel fast. It's going to be here
in minutes.
Yeah, maybe like an hour, because, I mean, how fast planes still take 16 hours to get from one place to another. So are these hypersonic missiles? Are these, you know, are they traveling about as fast, or maybe just a little bit faster than a 747? So you might have more time than you think. You might not have all that much time. So there's a whole lot to it. Would they tell us how much time we have? Would they tell us? Because I'm sure, like, our government has the capability to detect stuff like that. There's there's technology called the Iron Dome, which is basically we can track things that are incoming, like missiles and things like that, and then we can intercept those missiles with our own missiles and blow them up in the sky. Whether or not that would be something that we could rely on, don't know. There's just a lot of unknowns, and who's to say that they're going to use nukes in the first place?
True.
Because nukes are pretty old technology. Like, it's a little over 50 years that we've been using nukes. And at this point, I'm more concerned about, like, who knows? Maybe all those alien sightings that, like, alien spacecraft, you know what I'm talking about?
Finally land.
Not even, okay, there's that, because there's conspiracy theories all around about how, like, and reports that seem credible, actually, where aliens hovered above a Russian nuclear facility and shut it down remotely.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's
like the aliens were hovering above the facility, turned all of their shit on like it was ready to go, and then turned it all off. Like, just to show, like, we know what technology you have, we know how to use it, and we also know how to turn it off. Don't fuck with this.
Oh, shit.
That's kind of the vibe that I get from that whole situation. And now these are, of course, anecdotal stories that were told by people that supposedly were there. Whether or not it's true, not entirely sure, but that's one of the ones that is, like, a lot more prevalent, that they say that this was an alien sighting. That being said, there have been others. The Pentagon released a bunch, like right at the beginning of COVID, actually. The Pentagon, the CIA, they talked about these different crafts that have been spotted by U.S. Air Force, U.S. Navy, and all kinds of people, and they're just being confirmed that these sightings are legit, and we don't know what they are. Now, with that, it's like, okay, are the sightings legit? Why are they telling us about this? If the sightings are legit, why would they say that they don't know? Are they feigning ignorance, or do they actually not know? You know what I mean? Like, why are they going to tell us? Because they don't tell us anything.
No, they don't.
You know,
and
like,
I used to think that aliens were us, but in the future.
That's, who knows, maybe.
Maybe
we figured out time travel.
Yeah.
We're just, safeguarding ourselves.
Exactly. We're trying to protect ourselves. That's what I used to think, at least.
I don't know, man.
But that's just another conspiracy.
It is. Because you get into all kinds of stuff. Is like
I hate getting myself
I
into rabbit
don't want to
holes.
think about time travel and the implication of paradoxes and multiple universes and because it's just like it gets too complex because like you go back into the future, and I like how that's how I say that, back into the future, because Back to the Future, like you're not going back, you're going forward.
Yeah.
So why back? Anyways, I digress. You go into the future. Let's say you make it to the future, you figure out time travel, you go back in time to stop yourself from killing yourselves. How would you have gotten to the future if you guys didn't avoid that in the first place?
Oh yeah.
So it has to be an alternate universe where you're trying to save another version of humanity from killing itself.
Interesting. Okay, I see what you mean.
That's the whole multiple parallel universe theory. Basically, is just like you can't actually go back in time to a different time in a different point in time in your own history, but you can essentially warp
Different
into
dimension.
another dimension that is
Okay.
identical to yours,
Okay.
but at a different point in time, according to the infinite universe theory.
Right. I know what you. Okay, I see
Yeah.
what you mean.
And yeah, so
I
it's
mean, if you want to get into
really
this,
complex.
this is very complex.
It's very hard to wrap your head around sometimes.
It is,
And
but
it's
I do understand because
it's really fun to contemplate.
It
That's for
is.
sure.
like my lady has to hear me all the time talking about some bullshit like this. Like I'm always like, you know,
Let's
what
go.
if when
Let's
you
talk about
like
it.
when you die, you don't die. You know what I'm saying? You died in that dimension,
Yeah, that's kind of what I think happens.
and
Like,
you just continue. You know, like some moments where you're like,
well, that's what I
Dude.
think the spirit world, like heaven and hell and the spirit world is just the next dimension. And we become fourth dimensional beings made of spiritual energy.
okay,
And we basically rejoin God in the fourth dimension.
okay.
You
So
know,
basically, we just
as
transfer
beings
into
of energy.
Okay,
Yeah. So we lose our physical body and become energy-based beings, and that's kind of what heaven is.
okay,
And that's part of why, like, angels in the Bible, when they come to you in their real form, they always say, "Be not afraid," because their actual form is something we just cannot fathom. And
Something
so,
was
of course, you know what I mean? Because every time an angel appears to someone in the Bible, they always start with "Be not afraid." And it's because, have you ever seen pictures of biblically
yeah, like
accurate
the angels and stuff.
biblically accurate
Just a bunch
angels?
of eyes and like,
Yeah. So of course they're saying "Be not afraid."
it's like, oh yeah, like imagine seeing that in the middle of the night, bro. I'd fucking shit my pants.
I'm being very afraid.
Yeah, a bunch of flying eyes in the sky. Oh my
Yeah.
god, you know.
I mean, now maybe like because I understand, if I received the "Be not afraid" message, it'd probably click pretty fast. It's like, oh, this is an angel. Like you would kind of get that feeling. I would assume,
right?
me not knowing for sure, I would assume that you'd get that feeling of this is an angel, this is God. I shouldn't be afraid, but nonetheless, probably would be pretty scary.
Yeah, I feel like you also have to be like, you know, chosen to be able to see.
Absolutely.
Because I feel like a lot of times when people say, if you were to see God, you would die. Because
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah, well, that's the whole Ark of the Covenant and that story there, like Indiana Jones, basically. Like where, I don't know if you ever saw that one,
with the
Ark of the Covenant,
Right.
where the dude
She-
dude's face melted.
when he like got exposed to everything. Yeah, he just couldn't take it.
Yeah. And I think that's very similar to I think it was the very last Indiana Jones movie where it was the aliens.
Oh, that's the one I was
and
talking
the
about.
Crystal Skull. Kingdom
Right,
of the
my
Crystal
bad.
Skull.
Okay.
So that's, yeah. So you're thinking of the Crystal Skull where she asked for knowledge of everything and
Yeah.
then like
She just
died,
couldn't.
basically. She couldn't handle it. And I think that's very similar to the Ark of the Covenant, as well as Eve eating the apple. I think she didn't die because she was made directly from God. And so she received all of the knowledge and understood everything. And so did Adam, of course. And I think it's possible that the only reason they survived that was because they were made directly by God. Because Cain and Abel were actually the first actual humans. Because human beings are born,
Yes.
were born, versus Adam and Eve were created by God directly.
Yeah,
And of course, according to the Bible, they lived like 900 and some years.
I know. Yeah,
Yeah.
A bunch of years when
Crazy.
world was still crispy.
Yep.
Now it's all polluted. No,
Yeah.
but I heard one thing about, like, you know how there was never really an apple, like, to eat. You know, like, it just says fruit.
Okay.
There's no apple in the book.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I know what you mean.
It's
You
just
shall not
fruit.
eat of the tree of knowledge.
Right, and it's like a knowledge, a fruitful tree.
Yeah.
You think God knew the devil was in there already? You think God, that was like
You
the
would have
first,
to assume.
you think that was the first test he put to his creation? And then, like, you know,
So-
Eve was eating the knowledge, you know, the fruit, like the devil's.
Here's the thing.
You know, she was eating his lies. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I totally know what you mean. I think that God probably put him there on purpose, not necessarily to test Adam and Eve, but so here's a good question. If God can do anything
Mm-hmm.
and knows everything, what does he lack? Limitation. And so I think now this gets into
How
speculation on God's motivation, which is almost blasphemous, but this is just theorizing, us humans trying to figure out what God's plan was, and no one knows what God's plan was. But who knows?
Drake
Perhaps
Drake does.
Drake does, apparently.
Just kidding.
Of course he does. But so perhaps God wanted to create something that had what he lacked, which is limitation.
Wow.
And then on top of that, he wanted to create something that was actually, because God is good, and, you know, the love of God is good, and he is nothing but good. However, there's also the devil and the angels that betrayed him and all of that. And I think he may have wanted to create something that had the option to choose good and evil. And
That's
because
wild.
what's more honorable, to be good by nature and be essentially incapable of evil, or to have the choice between the two and to choose good?
But wasn't that what Jesus was for? So you can
pretty
prove,
much.
you know, that you can actually choose to be good.
Yeah. There's that, and to save all of the sinners so that
Humanity.
you can,
Yeah.
yeah.
But that's crazy. I'd never thought about it that way. Limitation. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of true.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry. Yeah, I don't mean to be blasphemous, you know, all that stuff. I hope not, because that's like
I hope
one
we're
of the
not being blasphemous, but this is
unforgivable
just
sin.
theorizing. This isn't saying like this is exactly what I believe or what you should believe or anything like that. But it's just an interesting concept to consider.
Yeah, what he said. Big words right there. Literally. That's smart. Wow. Never thought about it that way. I used to think that it was we were just pieces of a chessboard with God having a match with the devil.
I mean, kind of, yeah. That is what it seems to be like.
I used to think that when I was like a non-believer.
Yeah, I think there's a perpetual war for our souls going on in under the surface. Like if we could see into the fourth dimension, so I think spiritual energy definitely exists around us at all times, and I think that energy is what people would call aura or stuff like that. I think that's what a lot of other religions get into, like Eastern religions. That's kind of what they're talking about, is their auras, their chakras, and stuff like that. I don't think it's exactly that. I think that we just all have spiritual energy that is divine, first off, comes from God, but it can be corrupted by man, by temptation, by all of these different things that, you know, stray us from the path that we oftentimes know we should be on. You know what I mean? Like, for the most part, when you make a bad decision, you know what the good decision would have been in that situation. Usually.
Right.
Usually. Obviously, there are times where you don't know what the right decision to make is, and you do the best you can. And then sometimes you end up suffering for it, and then you learn, and you do your best to not do that again.
Yep.
But I think that, like I was saying, there's a perpetual war for your soul going on behind the scenes ish, like it's extra dimensional. And I think a lot of that energy is, you can see it, especially like the evil side of it in entertainment. I think that's actually why a lot of demonic symbology is in like music videos, movies, TV, especially music, specifically music, because music and all things creative, those are from the soul. Those come, like anything that really touches you, where you like get the chills and stuff from listening to music, or you see some piece of art that just like really speaks to you. It's like, what is that speaking to? Because everyone knows when you talk to someone and you say, I saw this piece of art and it really spoke to me. What does that actually mean?
Oh yeah.
You know, everyone knows what you mean when you say that.
Right. Like
they may not,
that person.
They may not understand what it is that spoke to you from that painting or from that piece of music or from whatever it is, but everyone knows what someone means when they say, this piece of art, this whatever, spoke to me internally.
Yeah, I feel that.
And so, like, what does that actually mean? That's your spirit. It's speaking to your spirit. And what is that spiritual influence? Is that a good or a bad spiritual influence? And that's another reason why I've started saying that like everything in life is a mind, body, and soul experience. Like everything you do mentally, everything you consume mentally, whether it's YouTube, whether it's a TV show, whatever the case may be, whatever you consume mentally, information has an effect on you spiritually, because maybe that information makes you depressed, or it makes you anxious, or like hearing about World War III, that makes you scared, anxious, depressed, all of those things.
Exactly.
And those emotions are a combination of your logic and your emotion, of course, mixing together to have an effect on your spirit. That's kind of how I see it.
I believe it, like music too, especially music. I feel like music really changes your mood. You start listening to like Marvin's Room, you're just like over here like depressed and shit. Like, I'm in a great relationship. What's going on right now?
Yeah, right.
Music wants you to get you like sad, depressed, thinking differently, like
or feeling great. You listen to Freebird and you want to like, you're just belting out those lyrics and you're having a great old time.
Yeah, you start listening to some like, I don't know, like when I'm in the gym, I'm listening to like like Work by A$AP Rocky. Oh dude, I'm putting in work for sure, bro. I start getting the chills. All of a sudden the weight feels a little lighter, and just like it's that weapon. Have
you seen Doom? Like the video game Doom?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like a lot of the music I'm listening to is like Doom music, and
like background music.
Not necessarily background music, but like have you heard the soundtrack in Doom?
No.
Very heavy metal. Heavy metal. There's not really any screamo. There's not really any lyrics whatsoever.
Is it Australian death? No. Have you heard of them?
I've heard of Australian death metal, but I haven't listened to it. But it's some pretty hardcore metal.
I'm pretty sure it's the same like, right there, because I like how they have the intro. It's like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, okay.
However the hell you say his name, but he's like, I'll be back. I am the Terminator, and then it fucking just drops of heavy metal. It's freaking sick. Yeah, that's another type of music that gets you going.
Yeah, so like when I'm in the gym listening to like the hardcore stuff, I'm literally imagining like I'm a paladin slaying demons, essentially. Like it's so weird, like that. It just manifest that energy that I pull from the music. It is spiritual, and that's kind of all we're saying is like, that's like, it's firing me up to, slay demons and push my body. And then after I go and do all of that in the gym and I work my ass off and tear all my muscle fibers and put in that work, afterwards I come out feeling great because I just put in all of that work to better myself despite the fact that it was hard.
Yeah.
And that's the body side of there being a mind and soul experience. And
all put together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then on top of that, what you eat has an effect on you. Like whether everything that you consume, whether it's eating enough meat, because there are a lot of people that decide to become vegans or vegetarians and then get severely depressed because they cut meat out of their diets. Because believe it or not, human beings are designed to eat meat. And now not every single person is designed to eat meat. Some people react very negatively to it. But for the most part, people are designed to eat meat. That is why we're omnivores.
We've my lady and I were just talking about this the other day. We're talking about how like I was trying to explain to her how a good diet, you know, I'm not saying it has to be top tier, like perfection and all that stuff, but I mean like a good solid diet, like you eating meats, vegetables, fruits, drinking, you know, staying hydrated, drinking water, having natural sugars, you know, like stuff like that. I'm not saying don't like stop eating out and stuff like that. I'm saying like, you know, once in a while, yeah, treat yourself, but don't make that your daily intake. You know, you need dense food. And we were talking about how, like you were saying, mind, body, and soul, it affects the way you think for sure. If you start eating shitty,
Yep.
One, it affects your physical. You know, you gain weight or you're unable to reproduce. You best believe
Absolutely.
that you're gonna have trouble actually, you know, producing children or being able to get someone pregnant if your diet is horrible.
Yeah.
And then also if you're lucky enough to have your sperm to impregnate someone with a bad diet or a horrible diet, just think about the type of seed you're putting out there and delivering, like how it might not have all the nutrients it needs. You know, just think about that. Like that's how I feel. Like if you're taking your vitamins, you know, you're eating somewhat healthy, you're staying hydrated, you're trying to improve yourself physically as well and mentally. Just imagine how fruitful your seeds are going to be.
Absolutely.
To what you're bringing to this world, you know?
Yeah.
And a lot of people's like, oh, I have trouble having kids. I have trouble. Okay, let's start at the basics.
Start at your health.
Because a lot of people just want to skip all that shit and go straight to pills. Oh, I'm depressed. All right, let's put you on pills.
Yeah, the magic pill that solves that doesn't exist.
How about we fucking start at like the most fucking basic shit that we are, which is human beings.
Yep.
Let's start at your fucking physical health, work on your mental health, and then we'll start with your spiritual health. Like, it's just like all those three main things.
Yeah.
And I've heard this many times. Like, life is about having your mental, your physical, and your soul. And then the other two would be like you with people that build you up and the people you congregate with, like who you hang out with too.
Yeah.
Because that feeds a lot into who you are.
Yeah.
And I feel like, we really spinned off this fucking thing. But all I'm saying is like, you where the fuck are we going with this?
You got to pay attention to your health.
Yeah, pay attention to your health. Like, just start, like, you know, you want to like start eating a little healthier. No idea why we got into this topic, but I think it's like
we were talking about mind, body, soul. We were talking about what you put in your body and the foods you eat. No, I do that too, bro. You're not the only one.
That's just funny. No, but I just like I feel like that's very important. I think a lot of people should start with themselves first.
Absolutely.
And then if you tried everything, you know, try to improve yourself, and you actually try, not just like, oh, I'm gonna try it, and you go and you're like, oh, I can't do this, and you fucking quit. No, I mean, like, you actually put in the fucking work.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure if you can stay up late till 4, 3 in the morning, like, shit, I do it sometimes too, but you know, but like scrolling to TikTok, and that's all you do, and you go to sleep, and then you wake up and you eat shit food, or you barely even eat anything to supplement your own body, and then complain about life. Think about what you're doing. Like, just think about what your daily life cycle is. Like, why is it so shitty? Have you tried improving yourself? Have you tried eating better? Have you tried getting enough rest? Have you tried reading a book?
And this isn't to like try and, you know, blame everyone for, well, yeah, no, it's not to try and blame everyone for their own problems.
I'm not blaming. We're just
no, I know. And there's sometimes you find yourself in a situation that isn't your fault, where things just aren't going well for you. Maybe you do, like, shoot, I could go and get a checkup and realize that I have cancer tomorrow, and I have really good health. Shit happens sometimes,
right?
So like, don't take this as like blame yourself for all of your shortcomings, but at the same time, you should take on as much responsibility for all of your shortcomings as you possibly can. You want ultimate accountability for everything good and bad in your life, because that is what empowers you to actually improve your life. If you don't think that you have control over your life, if you feel like the world is out to get you and you're failing because of things that have happened to you, what power do you have to improve things?
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
And that's why the victim mentality that everyone has nowadays, damn near. Not everyone, but a lot of people that are unfortunately also the most depressed and anxious and all of this. They're the ones that have the victim mentality, and they become victims of their own depression.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, I can't do this because I'm depressed or I'm anxious or whatever. And it becomes this like self-fulfilling cycle, this self-deprecating cycle of I can't because I've got this issue, and I've got this issue because I can't. You know what I mean? Like, you're depressed because you didn't go outside, but then you didn't go outside because you're depressed, and then it just like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so really focus on, you know, at some point you have to just like pull yourself up by your bootstraps and send it, you know?
Right. Yeah. Like, I feel like a lot of, you know, like back to World War III. What if they fucking call us out? I'm like, all right, we're drafting you fuckers. Get ready. Let's lock and load.
Yeah.
Who the hell are we going to pull out?
I'm not trying to get
All
drafted.
these depressed fucking people just
I know.
out.
That's actually another thing too, is like in the US, we're having a really tough time drafting, you know, or not drafting, but like getting reliable people like the Army, the Marines, our entire military is having a really tough time getting good candidates to join the military. It's just we're having a tough time because we have a very high lack of masculinity, and just people that are capable and can, you know, do something and are willing to go through hard shit to develop themselves. And everyone wants their lives to be easy because we do live in a very, very privileged world. Like everyone in America who talks about how white people are so privileged, how about you go to another country? Because people in other countries, literally people are dying to get into America. And you want to talk about how America is so bad. And you want to talk about how everyone here is super privileged.
You can't say that.
Look in the mirror, bro.
You can't say that.
You got to look at, you can. People are scared to.
I mean, yeah, but you can't say that because people will be like, well, you don't know what I've been through. Oh, fuck,
I don't give
dude.
a fuck what you've been through.
Go to
I don't give a fuck what you've been
Go
through.
to the third world. Go to India. Those people
Did you hear about this semi-truck that was found on the border of Texas? I don't know if it was in Texas. It was 50 people, men, women, and children, dead because they were trying to get into the U.S. They had died in a truck that they just got hot because someone left the truck, left them in there, and no one came to get them, and they just all died.
That's so fucking sad.
Trying to get into America.
That's so sad. And
they know that that is possible. They know everyone that's trying to illegally come into. That's another reason why, like, I have compassion for those people. I feel for them that are trying to get into the U.S. because we do have something great. Granted, it seems like everyone that's in power is trying to destroy that, right and left. There's what they call rhinos, Republican in name only. There's a lot of people that claim they're Republicans and conservative, but they one thing I've noticed that's kind of a problem is that a lot of people on the right, a lot of Republicans, a lot of conservatives, they just want to be left alone. And I get it, so do I.
Same.
But at the same time, that's kind of stolen their drive to make things better in our country. That being said, you have people like Matt Walsh and Ben Shapiro and Tim Cast and all of them that are trying to do something, whether it's just by, you know, changing the tides in the media or actually doing things for people. But one issue is that the left is really loud and very active, and they go out and do a lot more than Republicans do. But at the same time, it seems like everything they're doing is to destroy America.
Well, if you think about it, you can't be a Republican and be out there and making noise because they think you're a racist.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the first thing you're going to think.
Well, that's what they call us. And then it's like, dude, I'm half black. My biological dad, my stepdad is black. I've grown up around people of every race. I'm not racist. I know that. And I know you're not racist.
I'm not racist. Doesn't matter if I'm Hispanic or not, whatever I am. Like, I feel like it's just, you know, moral human, the person you are, like the can't even talk right now. Humanity. Mm-hmm. That's what really matters to me. Yeah. It's like, I hate when people are like, well, I've been through this. My people. Okay. Like, I understand that. I'm very sorry. My people too. And I respect that. And, you know, like it was really unfair, But let's move forward. Let's move forward as humanity and work together. Why is it that I can't get along with Lee Mac? Or why is it that this, like, you know, I know we have different cultures and stuff, but why are people racist in general? Like, that's another thing I hate.
Yeah, it's really ignorance. I think it's just
guy.
ignorance. There's I was talking about last time this dude Daryl Davis he's a black man that goes around talking to Klansmen.
Oh, I seen that guy. Yep.
Yeah. He's been on Joe Rogan a couple of times. He's been on multiple different podcasts a few times. But yeah, he just goes around. I think he's gotten like 40 some plus Klan robes from people that were like high up. They were like grandmasters because they call themselves like grand wizards and shit like that. Like some wild weirdo cult shit. But he's gotten robes from those guys there every time. It's like, man, I didn't realize how ignorant that was. And that's really all it is. So like when I see someone being racist, I'm not really mad at them. I'm just like, I'm so sorry. You're so ignorant. Like at the same time, unless they're like actually like acting on their racist beliefs, I'm not going to really try and change their minds because I just don't have the time. Like Daryl Davis is doing a great job and he can continue to do that. I don't know. I would probably get frustrated and annoyed and just say, have fun believing what you believe. Don't act on it as much as you can.
Yeah. I think it's purposely put there too. Republican and, like left, right, that stuff. I feel like
it is. It's to divide us.
It's like so smart. Like they're doing this on purpose to
you
guys.
They are.
And the fact that you stand with it, you're already brainwashed.
Go on Google Trends, look up racism. And Google Trends has this trend line. You can look up how often a word was used in a certain period of time.
Trends.
Yeah, Google Trends and type in racism as one of the words.
I spelled that right? Jesus Christ, I hate this computer.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Go back to 2008. 2004 to present. Yeah, there you go. Okay. That's a big spike there. That's only last year or something like that. Wow. Maybe it's before 2004. Okay, maybe that is some poor information. But I had heard that the prevalence of racism and just things that divide the different political parties became more prevalent in, I think it was around 2008, because that was when the recession hit. And when the recession hit in 2008, there was Occupy Wall Street. It was a movement where a bunch of people protested the buyouts that the federal government did to save the banks from the 2008 recession. Because basically the banks had done some bad investing and bad dealing, and they got bailed out by the government. The Federal Reserve essentially printed a bunch of money, devalued the dollar, but saved the banks from failing, even though they were the main cause of all of the recession. And so there was a huge protest in New York on Wall Street called Occupy Wall Street. That was the entire movement. And so it was shortly after Occupy Wall Street that a lot of this racism and the prevalence of racism and basically the dividing issues between the right and the left really became a lot more prevalent. And the theory is that basically the media, the banks, and the people that own the media, essentially, which is the banks and the Congress people and just people in politics, were sowing division between the right and left to keep them occupied while they got to keep going and spending all their money however they were spending it and retaining power and, divide and conquer type stuff.
Right. Let the people fight themselves while we go. And
exactly, because that was something that united the right and the left at that time, was the fact that the government had bailed out so many banks.
Right.
And
They don't want us to.
No, they don't want us to unify and actually work together on things.
Because that's how they lose.
Exactly. Because the power is in the hands of the people.
Exactly.
And
it's like Bug's Life. I don't know if you have seen that
Pixar
movie.
Yeah.
The grasshoppers, they owned the ants.
Mm-hmm.
And they knew themselves. If one little ant fights back, they will all fight back. Yep. You can't let them. Basically, the way they think is that we can't let them think that they can beat us, because
exactly
they can. But as long as we keep them in line and in check and fear, you're not going to be able to. And I feel like that left and right shit, that the fact that a lot of people get the privilege to choose who they want to be is what makes us divided. And then that's why we're so, like, that's why a lot of other countries hate us, because they're kind of unified in the way that they hate us. And then for ourselves, I feel, this is what I just think, this, I can be like totally wrong, but we're so divided in our own country that we're destroying ourselves.
Oh, absolutely. We are destroying ourselves.
It's like we're so left and right, F this person, F that person, or racism, oh, I hate this so-colored person, or we can't let these Mexicans cross the border, or like this and that, like stuff like that. It's like it's we're so fucking divided, and and I mean, I don't know, it might have its benefits, it might not, I don't know, but I just feel like people need to stop thinking about me, and start thinking about how we can help each other into growing, moving forward, thinking how like even the planet, dude, the planet is like falling apart, it's fucking rotting because of the way we are, how disgusting and privileged we are. I always think about this, like, when the hell is the water gonna run out? When is our dump facilities gonna fill up and we're gonna have to make a new one? Like, there's so much shit, so much pollution, like, that we're putting into this world, and to make it worse, we're so divided within each other that we're not even willing to help each other out. Like, people get mad on the way to work because you fucking cut them off, and it might have been an accident. I just feel like it's time for us to at least try to put some positivity out in the world, because I feel it's very negative, and that's another spiritual thing.
Yeah.
I feel like, why should you treat someone like shit just because you're having a bad day? Why, like, have you ever tried helping someone else, but you complain about no one helps you? When have you tried to give the helping hand, but yet you complain about how nothing goes fair for you? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Or like, what if it's like, why aren't you helping me? Why? Like, okay, when have you done this? When have you put your part into what you're complaining about? You know what I'm saying? That's why I don't know. I feel like sometimes I just kind of, I don't know. I always I want to see if I can improve and help, kind of improve myself so I can help other people. But it's really hard also, and improving yourself when the world is full of negativity. You always want to start in your own home and build your own home with positivity, or like even with your kids, build good, positive, loving kids so they can spread that love out in the world. Just
absolutely.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that went deep, bro.
Yeah, dude, good job.
Jeez.
Actually, yeah, because I thought of this when you were talking about like diet and eating right, and making sure that your seed is also healthy. That's another thing, is like, it starts now. Like, how are you gonna? A lot of people say they want to do this, and that for their kids and provide their kids the best life that they can and stuff like that. It's like, it starts before you have kids. You have to have those habits and that self-discipline to, meet the bills and to eat right and to cook, and all of these things that you want to offer to your kids, you have to be able to offer to yourself first. And then you practice offering it to your kids by offering it to your wife, to maybe you get a dog with your girlfriend/wife before you have kids, and you just practice until you get to the point that you have kids. And you have to start now. Like, you need to be eating right before you have the kids. You need to be exercising well before you have the kids and during. Like, bro, my mom was a break dancer, and so was my dad. That's how they met. And
that's pretty fucking cool.
I know, right? And she danced all the way through to like 6 months pregnant, and was working out and going on walks and all kinds of stuff all the time. And I attribute that to being like part of why I was, I guess, genetically blessed, because I have a pretty solid physique. If you follow me on Instagram, you've seen my posts.
This guy's a sexy ass back, bro.
Thank you.
This guy's built. No, Adam showed me the videos of you.
Oh yeah, flexing. Because I would like to compete next year, and so I was like, just practicing my poses in the mirror. I don't like to post a ton of it, just
You should
every
post
now and then.
those.
I actually did post on my close friends. I don't know if I think I added you. My close friends.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll probably end up making like a fitness focused account.
Nah, bro. Just use your own.
Just
because
use
you already
mine.
have those people following you.
That's true.
And
Fair.
then once you get enough people, will be like, oh, follow my other account, and then that's
true.
But for now, just post that. That shit look. I mean, he was looking mighty fine, bro.
Thank you.
No homo.
Thank you.
But like, I'm like, damn. But you should keep bulking.
Yeah, no, I intend to. This
because you look great. But if you were to,
I want to get bigger. I want to be 200 pounds. I'm about 185 right now.
damn.
185. I want to get to 200 pounds. Dude, I was looking. So Adam and I started tracking our calories.
He told me that too.
And for me to meet the goals that I want to meet, and I have not been doing well at maintaining this calorie intake, I need to eat 4,800 calories a day.
Jesus Christ.
Which is like, I just don't have time for that. That's a lot of calories to intake, like, especially if you're trying to do it relatively clean. I eat pretty well. I'm not trying to eat a bunch of fast food all the time. Like, I'll eat fast food, like, not McDonald's. I despise McDonald's.
I hate McDonald's.
In-N-Out or like
Chick-fil-A.
every now, yeah, I'll get Chick-fil-A. Those are healthier for sure.
Yeah.
As far as fast
Chipotle.
food goes, Chipotle is great. But also it's just expensive too. Like eating that much is expensive.
Every time my lady go, I was like $32.
It's ridiculous. It's like you spend $15 a day to eat that much, and that's just lunch.
Yeah, I'm about
and you
to
still
go
have to eat
work
dinner,
part time
all
there,
that.
bro, so I can get a free meal.
Shoot.
I keep telling my girl, I'm like, hey, would you mind if I work here just for the food? Like,
Actually,
think about it.
That's not a bad idea. I might have to apply at Chick-fil-A.
No, like, yeah, dead ass. Like
Just
a
to
Chipotle.
get-
Oh,
yeah,
leftovers? You're
Chick-fil-A,
tossing them
Chipotle,
out.
that's what I
Tossing them
meant.
out? You're
Not
tossing out
Chick-fil-A.
food? Like,
Chick-fil-A is overpriced, by the way. Chick-fil-A is good sometimes, but it's just way too
You
overpriced.
think so?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Chipotle is overpriced. I think some of their fucking hand scoops
For the
are a little
amount of
weak.
food you can get at Chipotle, I don't think it's that overpriced. Chick-fil-A, however, their portions are tiny. All of their pieces of chicken are tiny. I'd rather go to
yeah.
Cane's. Pay about the same amount, but get way more food at Cane's.
You're not wrong. Okay. Yeah, you're right.
Chick-fil-A is overpriced. It's overrated, overpriced. The chicken is decent. It's not anything special. I don't know
Popeye's
why
sandwich is a lot better.
I don't even go to Popeyes.
Go.
Yeah.
Once you go Popeyes, you never go back.
I'm sure you're right. Actually, Popeyes does have this really good, it's like blackened ranch or something like that. It's this sauce that they have.
Okay.
I go there. I don't even remember when the last time I went there was, but I do remember the first time I had this ranch at Popeyes. It was like a godsend. I was like, I need this in my life. And then I don't go to Popeyes because I just don't trust that they're high quality.
They're not.
See?
That's the good part. See, sometimes you got to hit those places where you know they're not passing their
Right.
food
But
grade.
we were just talking about how important it is to put good food in your body. And I'm
Don't listen to me.
Legit, I go to Costco, I get a bag of frozen chicken tenders, I get some microwavable rice, and that's my dinner almost every night.
Really?
Actually, just last week I bought 2 different tri-tips. That's another thing is like I bought 2 tri-tips. They only last me like 2 days because I need to eat so much freaking food.
Damn.
Yeah.
I was doing so
ridiculous.
good before Vegas too. You know, I went to Vegas.
Yeah.
I was doing so good. I went from 248.
It's because you were motivated to lose the weight for Vegas, and then Vegas happened, and then you no longer had the reason to lose the weight.
Well, I mean, I'm still working out.
But
so
you
that's
no
good.
longer.
But I'm not really trying to cut
The
down
reason that you were trying to cut was for Vegas,
for the pool. Yeah.
for the pool, exactly. And then you got to the pool, and then got back, and you were like, "Well, I no longer have a reason to cut," and that's why it's important to always have goals that you're trying to meet, because otherwise, you can get to a point where you meet a goal, and then you're like, "Well, did that? I can chill now."
Yeah.
And that's
Now what?
comfort is the enemy of, what is it? Comfort is where dreams go to die.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of people go there. And then,
no, they absolutely do.
At this moment, like, I'm trying to get back in there. So I don't know, like, what's his name? Adam keeps telling me, like, you should compete. Like,
you could definitely be a power lifter.
That's what I want to do.
Could definitely be a power lifter.
I've been working so hard on my squats and on my benching, and then I've been doing the 5x5.
Okay, yeah,
that's really working for me.
My bench has gone up,
dude. Same.
Yeah.
Like, I try to stay humble. I'm not trying to like be this cocky little dude that's walking around the gym and stuff. That's why I kind of hate going like 5 and after to the gym.
There's a lot of people.
Oh, there's a lot of people that just dog you for no reason. I'm like, I'm not staring at you. I can't see past this machine anyways. Like, I don't have my glasses. Like, I'm in the treadmill, and I swear I feel people think I'm like staring at them, but it's just like I can't see anything. It's like past this machine, it's all blurry. All I see is like a blob. So I'm not even looking at you, my guy. And then like I feel bad sometimes because like I feel like maybe like I'm staring for too long, but really I'm just lost in my thoughts because like my pre's like really hitting. Yeah. Especially if I don't eat anything, that shit hits hard.
Oh man, yeah. I
can hear my heart rate in my ears.
The pre that I've got right now, I messed up and took some before the workout, but I didn't really eat all that much, and it was just not a good time.
You feel like throwing up?
Huh?
You ever feel like throwing up?
Not really. It was just like dizziness.
Oh, okay.
And like when you stand up too fast, and it's like, oh, I need to sit right back down. That was kind of how I felt.
Okay. Blood pressure's probably super high then.
Yeah. Well, it was 400 milligrams of caffeine, so that'll do it. Yeah, it was some good stuff.
We're a bunch of crackheads over here.
I'm doing 1 scoop of that from now on.
I'm stupid sometimes. Like I wake up and I make myself a little shitty breakfast. Well, not shitty. It's good breakfast. It's like an oatmeal and then like an orange or a banana with like almond butter and some raw honey. Fantastic.
Okay. That sounds really good. That's another thing that I struggle with is I go to bed too late and then I wake up right before I have to go to work and I go straight to work. I'll get like a couple of granola bars. That's actually something I should have done today. Well, no, I got off work a little later, so I didn't have time. But anyways, I need to get some more granola bars. That'll help with the bulking process. But it's just like so many different things that I'm trying to do at the same time.
It's tough. And it's tough for you because, like, being lean and having trouble put weight on.
Yeah, it's so hard to put on weight.
It's the hardest thing. For me, bro, I look at a potato chip and I blow up. Like, it ain't fair, my guy.
We're all just built different, man.
That's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
I think that's the beauty of it. Like, everyone's so different, but yet so alike in some way or form.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And the similarities are definitely more prevalent than the differences, I think. If we just sit down and talk to each other, which is what we should all be doing. But then the differences are what make life interesting. So we need to celebrate our differences and acknowledge our similarities.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And respect our we need to celebrate our similarities and respect our differences. I think that would be a better way to put it, is like, I respect that you're different from me in various ways, and you respect that I'm different from you in various ways, and like we might disagree on something, but we're not going to like hate each other over it.
Yeah, or cry about it, or
exactly, or cry about it, or talk smack about each other. Like, I mean, we might talk smack about each other to each other, but not behind each other's backs.
Yeah,
and so like celebrate the similarities, the fact that like we're human, everybody's human. There's only one race, so being racist is genuinely ignorant.
Literally.
Yeah. It's one of the most ignorant things that you can do is to hate someone for how they look.
Yeah.
Unless it's this guy, you can hate him for how he looks.
My ugly ass. No, honestly, I don't even know. Like I still can't believe, like, I have no idea how people just look at someone that's a different color and they're like,
it's just low IQ.
It's like,
it's just low IQ.
Black. Like, what?
It's
what in your head?
There are so many different reasons.
That's psychological issue.
Yeah, it's a psychological issue. It's
fucks.
Ignorance. It's psychology. It's tribalism is a real thing. Like, human beings are naturally pretty tribalistic in term because we go to war with other tribes that were competing for resources. But resources are so abundant in the modern world that there's really no good reason to be fighting each other. And we go to war because politicians want to fight each other for all of this other shit, and they've got pawns to do the work for them.
Yep.
If they had to go to war or had to send their own kids to war, they probably wouldn't be so war hungry.
Yeah, and then they have the secret bunkers and safety for them. Like, they have it all built for them.
Yeah,
like, they're going to be in the safest fucking spot ever, and we're going to be the ones suffering.
That's the thing.
And another thing of these fuckers, bro, is that they probably just want to reset the whole world because they know they fucked up.
Have you heard of the Great Reset?
I've heard of it, but not really gone depth into it.
So this is a conspiracy theory. I only say conspiracy theory because, like, it's not proven, but how can you prove it? Because no one that's involved is really gonna speak up about it. You know what I mean? And if they do speak up about it, they're gonna be treated like Edward Snowden or Julian Assange or all of these other whistleblowers that tried to shine a light on what the government was doing. Alex Jones, for example, who Alex Jones said that one crazy thing talking about the Columbine parents were just crisis actors. That's crazy. However, he also was the one that found the group of wealthy, rich people, influential people worshiping the owl god Moloch in the woods.
Oh, the
Bohemian
fucking
Grove?
owl? Yeah.
Bohemian Grove? That
Yeah.
was Alex Jones that found out about all that.
So he's the one that took those pictures?
Yeah, he found out about all that. So Alex Jones is a journalist.
Mm-hmm.
He's a little high strung. He definitely has some psychological issues. However, he's a very, very thorough journalist and does his research and is actually right more often, I would say, than he's wrong. I would say so. I would say he's right more often than he's wrong. But that's what's scary to the people in power, is that he was talking about these people, these crazy rich people that do these eyes wide shut parties where they're, you see it in movies and you think, oh, that's some crazy movie stuff where, all of these.
It's there because they're trying to tell you.
Yeah, they're trying to tell you. They put it in plain sight. And, there's all kinds of different demonic symbolism in music videos, in on the dollar, for example. There's the pyramid with the Eye of Horus at the top. All kinds of different things that are going on behind the scenes. But this whole Bohemian Grove thing where they were worshiping the owl god Moloch, it's the god that people would sacrifice kids to in the Aztecs.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
There's another movie, like an old school movie too. Was it Indiana Jones?
Might have been.
I think so. They're like sacrificing kids and shit.
But yeah,
Or
so
like eating each other or something.
and look at what we got now is all kinds of child sex trafficking,
It's real.
all kinds of and that's another thing that's crazy. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again because I'm not gonna shut up about it until we get some fucking words on it on Epstein. The fact that we got all these kids being sex trafficked, and all these people on the left want to talk about all the kids and how we're harming the kids by not letting them express their gender identity. How about we let them not be raped and kidnapped?
Well, that's all part of their plan, right?
No, I
They
know.
want them to be.
I know. 'Cause it's a spiritual war. They want them to be confused about what their actual gender is, who they are, and all of that different stuff. Because, the basis, the first thing you understand is the difference. One of the first things you understand as a human being is the difference between boy and girl.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go all the way to the root of understanding and disassemble that root of understanding, then anything is capable of being overwritten. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You can shatter your perceptions on anything, and your worldview becomes completely malleable. And that's what they've done to a lot of people on the left because they're progressive and tolerant to a fault. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I feel so too. I don't know. I just feel like a lot of people are being programmed to think differently.
Yeah.
I'm not, I know there's some that are born that naturally have their differences and stuff, but also
Absolutely.
I know those the schools are trying to tell the kids what to think.
There's a lot of it that's,
You heard that shit?
Yeah, no, there's a lot of it that's peer pressure.
It's like, oh, you got to think this way. Like, you can't talk like that. Like, it's just like, what the fuck are you like? No, I don't want my kids to learn this shit.
Yeah, Yeah. No,
You're
it's
programming. You're like, no, they're having free choice. Like, no, bitch, you're telling this kid what to think and what to say.
there's a saying that goes, the left doesn't have kids, they have yours.
I believe it.
Because, in educational institutions, primarily left leaning teachers and staff and faculty, in what else? TV, movies, all of entertainment essentially is left leaning influences. And, the people that want to reduce the population the most and to push these vaccines, push population control, push abortion. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Push, free love and sex and, not having kids, not having actual families. It's all left-leaning people. And now they're also trying to push all of these ideas on our kids in school because the only ones having kids are conservative people that want to have families.
Exactly.
Especially the ones that are like doing it right and have a family and, send their kids to school, and those kids are impressionable and they go to war against their parents' ideas because they're rebellious at a certain age, because every kid is like that. They think their parents don't know anything and all of that.
Even with poor and not being poor. Like, even if you're privileged or not privileged, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
it's your identity, who you really are. Like, the way, I wasn't raised like the best. I'm not saying like, I mean, I had everything I need. Me saying I'm not the best, that's very ignorant of me. But what I'm trying to say is like, a lot of people during my age in high school, they had internet. I didn't. I would have to steal my neighbor's internet without them knowing to use the internet. It was kind of funny. I would literally stand in the corner of my house because that was the only place where my computer would reach their Wi-Fi.
That's awesome.
And I would just do my homework or do like watch videos or do whatever I needed to do on my laptop in that little fucking corner of the house. It was the most uncomfortable fucking corner. But that was the only way I was able to do homework, do research, and do all this shit. Because I didn't have a phone. I didn't get a phone until I was in senior year, and it was prepaid. So I had to go and sell cans so I can pay for my phone bill. Like, I didn't have Wi-Fi. My laptop was passed down, but it was like the old-ass fucking laptop. The way I would get to school is I had to wake up extra early and then kind of work with my dad. And then, like, he would drop me off when time came for me to be dropped off, or I would take the bus, stuff like that. My mom would be able to take me when she could. But it's like, I'm not complaining. I'm just saying that you shouldn't let certain outcomes or situations change who you are just because you grew up somewhere. You shouldn't be an asshole. It's like, oh, fuck that person. Like, because they had it all and I didn't. Like, no, don't be that guy.
It's just jealousy.
That's just you being a fucking dick yourself.
Yeah.
How do you not know that they worked hard for their shit? You know what I'm saying? Or don't be mad that your parents didn't work as hard as their parents did. That's one of the things I see myself. Yeah. Like, I want to fucking be able to work as hard as I can and be able to provide for my kids, and that's on me. I'm sorry your dad didn't try to, like, if there's a reason why, then this is not for you. Like, I'm talking about the parents that basically they got comfortable where they're at, and then that's all they were able to do, because my parents, they tried their best, but I can't say that my dad did get a little comfortable where he was at, and my mom, that's one of the things that she got tired of. Like, it's like, I see other husbands of like my friends and stuff really pushing towards something more, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're really, and my dad, like, he was playing the safe game because he was just like, he was an immigrant, and I understand, and it sucks, but he was playing the safe game, as in like staying where he's at with this company, making good, decent money to provide for us, which was good, and I'm thankful. But this is one of the lessons he taught me, and basically, like, if you stay in the same spot, you're gonna die there. One of the things said, if you don't move, you're dead. And I always took that with me. That's why I'm always like trying to improve myself, learn new things, in some way or form. Like, okay, I got a job on a farm. I have no idea how to do any fucking labor because I didn't grow up like that. But I learned it. What is this going to benefit me in the future? When I have my own house, I want to build a fence. I know how to fucking build it now. I want to have farm animals. I know what to do. I want to build a fucking wall. I know how to build a fucking wall now. Shit like that. So it's like it's just try to improve yourself in general. Like stop complaining about I didn't have this when I was a kid. Okay, well, work hard enough so your kid can have it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that was all good.
I'm just saying, like,
solid information.
just info you should all take.
Yeah.
Trying to feed the brain here, buddy.
Take that seriously, guys, because that was all good. That was all solid, straight from the heart.
Yeah. I mean,
speaking God's word, God's plan.
Try to improve. It's for you, Drake.
But no, really, it's like that's what you said there. If you don't move, you're dead.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually there's I think it's like Darwinian theory where they call it the Red Queen problem, because in Alice in Wonderland, in the story of Alice in Wonderland, the Red Queen said, "In my kingdom, if you have to do everything you can just to keep your head on your shoulders," I think is what she was saying. And really what that was is just like the tendency of what you just said. If you don't move, you're dead. Mm-hmm. Like if you're not actively progressing forward, you're falling behind. Mm-hmm. And at that point, if you're falling behind, obviously situations happen where you can't progress forward as quickly as you used to, or you might feel stagnant or whatever, but you have to be on top of yourself. You have to be disciplined enough to pull yourself out, because no one's going to have your back like you're going to have your own back. Exactly. You can't wait for someone to save you. There's no superheroes in real life. Like there might be people that really come in clutch every now and then, but you cannot rely on that, because really life is a challenge. It's a struggle. It's an uphill battle, and we all have to fight, and that's how you survive. And that's how you, like, we've been blessed for the last 50 years, I guess you could say, where we haven't had all that much struggle in the US, but I think winter is coming, like we said that one time, and things are going to get harder. It looks like we're going to start having some food issues because of what's going on geopolitically. There's going to be a lot going on, and we should be doing the best we can to improve our situations at all times, and especially now, starting now.
Absolutely.
Like really get after it.
I just want to look something up so I can let you know.
Okay.
I feel like you actually, I'm pretty sure you know this actually. It's the whole, I think you actually told me this before.
The Dutch farmers?
No, it's I can't seem to find it, but it's like the easy times create soft men or something, and then hard times create real men or tough men.
Yeah, so strong men create good times. Good times create weak men. Weak men create hard times, and hard times create strong men.
Yep. And I feel like all this rise right now about the whole masculine thing, which I do feel like we're starting to rise.
Yeah. No, I definitely think the hard times are just beginning.
Exactly.
And strong men are starting to appear.
Yes.
And I'll probably get some hate for saying this, but Andrew Tate is one of those strong men type figures that is trying to create good times. And really, I think what he's trying to do is create more strong men, because he sees what's happening as well. Like, we're not the only ones that are talking about, shit's going crazy.
Yep.
And the world is in a really unstable position right now, with geopolitically and, just in America. Things are looking sketch, because like it almost looked like we were going to have a civil war for a second. Maybe that's just on the back burner because of Ukraine. Maybe it's going to erupt because of Ukraine. Who knows? So prepare yourself as much as possible to not only survive whatever may come, but to help others in your community, help your family, help as many people as you can also get through it. Build those relationships now, so that you have someone to rely on and someone can rely on you, because you'd be surprised at how much of a blessing it is to be able to be relied upon. Like it may suck in the moment or whatever to, feel like, I got to do this for so-and-so because they can't do it themselves, blah, blah, blah. But like at the end of the day, it's like, I'm someone that is at least perceived as strong enough to help others.
Exactly.
And there's a gift in responsibility that people take for granted. And
yeah.
It's not emphasized.
If you're fit, but you don't have the balls, homie, you better start growing some.
Yeah, right.
Because that's going to be...
Hey, I'm trying not to get drafted. I'm not trying to fight this war for the politicians.
No, but that's funny that you said that though. Like when people see you as like a figure, a pillar, to hold up and protect people. It is a blessing because people have trust you in thinking or knowing that you can protect them. Yeah. Let's say you don't have that in you, you better start learning how to do it.
Yeah,
because there's gonna be a time that's gonna come and you're gonna take that bullet basically. You know, I'm talking
figuratively.
Yeah. I'm not being logical here, but like at the moment, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like you're going to take that bullet in some way or form. And you better have the balls to stand your ground and protect those people because they trust and believe in you and they need something or they need someone to believe in. You know? Yeah. And all that.
I think
that was good.
I think that's a good spot to end off. We're about an hour and a half in now.
Shout out Lord Tate.
Shout out Lord Tate, Top G.
Just kidding. But yeah,
I mean, kind of not. Kind of not kidding. Kind of kidding.
Not Lord, but you know.
Not Lord Tate. There's only one Lord.
General
Tate. Yeah, General Tate.
Lead us into battle, sir. And then what's his the other guy's name? Sneeko? Sneeko?
Yeah, Sneeko.
Okay. That guy's cool as fuck too.
He's cool. He's really kind of like he does have his own ideas. And actually, I saw a clip of him when he was like probably 12.
When he was
talking
younger?
The same stuff that he's been talking and talking similar stuff as Tate. So before Tate was Sneeko does have his own ideas, and really they just so happen to have the same ideas, Sneeko and Tate. But that's why Sneeko kind of seems like just a follower of Tate, is because really Sneeko has been talking the same stuff for a minute.
For a long time, yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, so just, leave off on what we had said before we got into the Top G part. And what we were saying is just like, be ready to bear some responsibility for yourself, for those around you, for people that need your help, as well as for your family that might not need your help, but sure could use it. And,
For sure. Yeah. Be that fucking man.
Be the man.
You were born
or the
into.
woman. Or the woman.
Yeah, bro.
We need women and men, by the way. I don't want to get too focused on just men's responsibility in being strong and masculine. Women definitely need to be strong also. And their strength comes in
advisors. Like if it's your wife, you better listen to your wife. They trust me. I know the man is supposed to take the final take and the final role, and this is what it is. Women
are like the mortar that sits between the bricks, because the bricks are the hard. They make that's what you build the castle out of, is the bricks or the stones. Mm-hmm. But the women are the mortar that hold it all together.
Yep,
that's how I would describe that. And their role is a lot more nuanced than just that. But so is men's. So yeah. All right. This has been Some Young Guys solving the world's problems in an hour and a half.
Hell yeah. Trying to enlighten the people in the crowd. And I hope you guys enjoy. We always love to have you guys listening. And thanks for joining us the other night with our first guest. Fantastic guy. Love that guy. Awesome.
Yeah.
Pretty sure he's going to go places.
Jackie's a good dude.
Really good dude.
Nice guy.
And it was nice meeting him. He actually responded and gave us some feedback. He said he really liked it. His lady liked it too. So, I hope everyone else is also enjoying it. But thank you guys.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us today too.
All right. And feel free to leave some comments, things that we should talk about in the future, things that you guys feel we may have done wrong. Just whatever your thoughts are.
Your opinions.
Tell us in the comments. And we'll address them. Maybe we'll shout you out, whatever. But, I think that's all for tonight, and we will see you guys next week.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you guys for joining. Later.
Peace.